Hello programmers, welcome to Pathshala. Thank you for opening this video. In this video tutorial I am going to build a C program that can evaluate mathematical expressions that are having only 4 basic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Let me show you some examples. Here we can see two mathematical expressions that are having only 4 basic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And this is also the input and output format of our program. First we will take an integer value that will indicate how many operands we are going to use in our expressions. As we can see, there are only 3 operands: A, B and C. So the input will be 3. Then we will input the value of those operands like this: A equal 1, B equal 2 and C equal 2 with no spaces. Right after that we will take another integer number that will indicate the number of expressions that we are going to evaluate, then the expressions, and when we are done with the input section we will get the output of the expressions respectively. So this was the input and output format of our program. Let's jump into the building section. In building section, first I am going to show you how we are going to evaluate an expression visually, and then we will jump into the code. So let me show you. First we will take a character array that will be holding the operand variables. We will call it as operand. Next we will take an integer array that will be holding the operand values accordingly, and we will call this array as operand value. After that we will take a 2D array to store the equations. As our program can evaluate multiple equations, so we will need 2D array. Now our input section has finished. We will go to the next section where we will take another array called equation with value. Here in this array we will replace the operands with the operand value, and since this is an integer array we can't have both integer and character value in the same array, so I have to replace the operator with a value. I replace them with 99. You can use any value instead, it doesn't have to do anything with this program. Now this first equation and the equation with value, we will send this to array to a function where division and multiplication will be performed. So let's see how that happens. So now we are into that function and we have this two array, one with equation and one with value of equation. So first we will look for the division operator in the equation. Since we don't have any division operator in our equation, we will look for the multiplication operator. So we have a multiplication operator in the second index, so we will perform the multiplication with the previous index, which is 1, and the next index, which is 2. So if we perform multiplication between 1 and 2, the result will be 2, and we will store the value 2 into the first index. And as we don't need this 4 index anymore, we will vanish them, and the rest of the value will shift to index left. So from 99 to 2, this value will be shifted to index left in this array. So we can see that the length of this 2 array is reduced by 2 index than the previous array. So if one operations get performed, our array gets reduced by 2 index. So I mark them with the yellow marker, so you can understand that these indexes get vanished. So We'll do the same thing for the rest of the operations. Here we found another multiplication operator. Here we see another multiplication operator. So we performed multiplication between 2 and 2, 4, and saved it to this index. You can see 4, and this 4 index get vanished. Now we will send this 2 array, this equation and equation with value. We will send this 2 array to another function where addition and subtraction will be performed. So let's see. Here we can see that we have only additions here, so we will perform the addition operation between this 2 and 2. So 2 and 2 becomes 4, and we will save the value into the first index, and this 4 index will be vanished, and this 2 index will shifted to index left. So we have only one operation left. So 4 and 4 will be 8, and we will get the last result 8, and we will print this result 8. So this is how our equation gets evaluated in our program. Now let's jump right into the code. So first we have to add some header file. And last one, which will be string.h, as we are going to work with string. Now main function starts here. In the main function, here we will start our input section. We will comment here that input section starts here. So first we have to declare variable to take inputs, number of operands, number of equations. Next we have to take the input of how many operands we are going to use in our expression. Then we will create a character array to get those operands and to store those operands. Okay, and we are going to need another variable, character variable, and we are going to need another integer array to store the operand value. For this we will declare operand value. Array size will be number of operand. Okay, now I'll take some integer variables to control loops. These are my favorite variables to control loop. Now I have to use this getChar function. So whenever there is a integer input before character input, we have to put getChar function between them. I'm not going to explain why we need this getChar function. You can always Google by typing why we have to use getChar function between a integer input and a character input. We have to use this function again because this integer input, it will go back to this character input. So like I said before, if there is a character input after an integer input, we have to put getcha function between them. Now let's take the input of equation number, how many equation we are going to get. Again getcha function. We have to create a 2D array to store equations. First index number will be number of equations, and second index value will be 50, suppose. Now let's get those equation. Gets equation. Okay, so we have taken our inputs, initial inputs, not initial actually, we have taken our all the inputs. So now what we will do, we will replace the operand value to a new array. I'll comment it to help you guys understand this. Replace the operand value to a new array. So let's take an array. It will be integer type, and we'll call it as equation with value. Array size will be number of equations, and second index size will be 50. Now in this if condition, what we will do, we will replace the operator sign with a value. We can store both a number and a character in an array, so we will replace the operator sign with a value like I have shown before. I will replace them with 99. We defined the value of max earlier. Here has defined max 99. So the value of max will be 99, and in equation where there will be operator sign like plus, minus, multiplication or division, it will be replaced by 99. You can choose any value instead. Like I said before, it doesn't have to do anything with your program. Now what we will do, we will put end of file sign to each equation, to the end of the each equation, to mention that our equation is stopping here. So this is the end of file sign \0. Now in this section we will call the functions. First we will call multiplication and division function, and this function calling will be happening by this for loop. So we will name the function as funcDivMul. This is the short form of function division and multiplication. You can name it on your own if you want. And we will send this to array equation I, first array, equation and equation with value. And lastly return 0. Now what we will do, we will declare the functions that we are going to need. This funcDivMul, as this function will return nothing, so the data type will be void. We'll declare another function below this function. That function will be performing addition and subtraction operation. So I'll call it as func add and sub. Now let's go to our first function division, div and mul. We will declare some variables that we are going to need later. We will take a for loop. If any character of equation matches to division, then the following will happen. We will store the previous value into prev variable. And we will store the next index value into the next variable. Now the operation will be performed and stored in the result variable. Now with this for loop, what we will do, we will shift the rest of the array to two index left, like I have shown before in the visual section. And we have to put end of file sign after each operation, because after each operation our array is getting reduced, so we have to mark the array that our array is going to stop there. So we are putting this end of file sign. Else if, here we will check the multiplication operator's sign. We are going through a order: first division, then multiplication, then addition, then subtraction. As we are going to do same stuff again inside this if condition, so we are going to just copy and paste them inside this condition, and we have to change some point. We have to change the operator sign into multiplication, and that would be all. And here we will call this addition and subtraction function, and send those two array that we have reduced here, array and array with value. Now the addition and subtraction function. We have done several mistakes in this program, you may have noticed before. We will check them when we will run this program after completing this, so don't worry. So inside that function we will also do the same thing as we have done in the previous function, just some operator sign will be changed. Like this division will be addition, and yes, also this division sign will be addition, and here multiplication sign will be replaced by subtraction sign. That is all. Now we are going to just print the result. Before printing we have to check this, if the value, the last value what we are getting after evaluation, if it's greater than -1000 and less than 1000, then we will print the result, otherwise we will print error. Because if you input an operand that is not in the equation, then we will get some garbage value, because garbage value comes with a big integer number, so we will check it before we print the result. If it's not garbage value, then we will print the result, and if it's a garbage value, we will print error. That is all, our project has completed. Now let's run it and check it where I have done mistakes. First let me go through the program once again. Okay. Here I have forgot to put semicolon. Next mistake, I forgot to put s after operand because I have declared operands. Okay. Here also I have forgot to put s. Here We forgot to put underscore. Some spelling mistake happened here. We forgot to put parameter sign, and lastly we forgot to put underscore again. I hope now this is okay. Yes, I forgot to put an ampersand sign before operand value. I think now it's okay. Let's copy this input format, and if we input this, we got the result 8 and 5. This is the result of those expressions. Now let's try this test case. First input will be 4, then g equal 2, p equal 3, t equal 1, and w equal 2. And equation number will be 3. And the equation is g plus p xt minus w xp. Then t minus g plus t minus w. And the next input, there is operand that we haven't mentioned. You can see that the third result is error, because in our third equation there is an e and we haven't took e as a operand, so it's showing error. So that's it. I think you have understood what I have shown so far, and if you haven't understand it, let me know in the comment section where you didn't understand. And if you like this video, share this with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you.